you curious about picnic treats like these egg biscuits from 1904? Well, grab your picnic basket and come along on a fun vintage cooking adventure. So we are ready to delve into making the egg biscuit. This is part of a picnic series from 1904 from the Presidential Cookbook. So I imagine these biscuits would be delicious for a picnic with either jam, butter, or you could make sandwiches with them, which is what I may be doing. But we will taste them on their own as well. So we're going to start out with, it says a quart of flour, which is 4 cups. And we want to sift that with, it says 3 heaping teaspoonfuls of baking powder. So that is going in there. And so we want to mix that up. And then we are adding, well, this is lard. You can also add butter. And we want it about enough so it looks kind of like an egg, which is about 4 tablespoons. And I'm going to take this out because we need to work this into the dough as you do with either biscuits or pastry. And I like to do it by hand. You can also use knives, forks, or a pastry blender. But I am a clean hands person. I love working with the dough like this. I find it super relaxing and zen. So we have the lard mixed in there. And of course you could use butter instead, but I am just about out of butter because I just made a pastry recipe for another video. So anyways, so then we want to add 2 well-beaten eggs because these are egg biscuits. We want a tablespoonful of granulated sugar and a teaspoonful of my favorite kosher salt. Uh-oh, I think I might sneeze. Hang on. Hopefully not. Okay. So we are going to mix this up into a soft dough. Oh shoot, I forgot the milk. So I'm gonna be right back. Hang on. Alrighty, we are back with a cup of whole milk that we're adding to this mixture. We're gonna just use this rubber spatula to move it around and make it into a soft dough. Once the milk is incorporated, then I'll get it out on the board. And then we're gonna make our biscuits ready for the oven. I think this is actually a lovely picnic item because you can make it ahead, and it's even something that you can, make even a day or 2 ahead and keep it on hand and, use it to make sandwiches with, or serve it with jams or other things. I think it's a great addition to a picnic. Or if you have something like fried chicken, it's a really nice accompaniment. And you can make everything from breakfast sandwiches to other type of sandwiches with it. So something quick and easy, but also homemade, which I think is awesome. Especially for a vintage recipe. This is one of the quicker ones. And I like the fact that it has the eggs in here. I'm excited to see if that adds some richness to it. So I'm just gonna briefly knead this. I'm not gonna do this very long, but just to kind of get this together here. All right, so it says to roll this out to about 1/2 inch thick. So let me get my trusty French rolling pin here. And then I'm also gonna get my pan and my cutter. I'm gonna make these a little bit big because I'm thinking of a sandwich I might want to make with them. So let's see how many biscuits we can get. As with a lot of these vintage recipes, it doesn't say the yield or how many you get, but we'll see. It depends on the size of the cutter, so that's probably why they don't point that out. But anyways, I just find these recipes delightful no matter what. So we're gonna roll this just a little bit thinner. And I was actually reading that in 1904 is the first year they came out with paper plates and paper cups, and also kind of vacuum thermoses for picnics. And people would still dress up quite a bit for picnics, but it made it easier so they didn't have to take home a bunch of dirty dishes to do, which is quite nice. However, I think bringing dishes on a picnic would be quite elegant as well. So good things about both of those. All right, so we have our dough ready. Let's go ahead and cut out our biscuits. And here we go. I'm putting them on this tray lined with kind of a silpat mat. And I'm gonna finish cutting these on my own, and I will see you when these come out of the oven. They're gonna go into a 400-degree oven for about 15 minutes or so. Maybe 20 minutes, we'll see. Okay, I'll see you in a few minutes. Yay, the biscuits just came out of the oven, the egg biscuits. There's no egg between them quite yet, as in a sandwich, but they have eggs inside. And look how fluffy and lovely they are. Ooh, they're hot. But anyway, they look lovely. So I'm excited for the family to try these and see if we can make some type of sandwich out of these maybe. So stay tuned. Hey guys, the family is here to try the egg biscuits.
What makes an egg biscuits?
There's just 2 eggs mixed into the biscuits.
Cool. Is that unusual?
Yeah, usually you just have, there's also milk, but usually there's no egg in there. So, What do you think?
I like it.
It's really soft.
It's a nice biscuit. Yeah, very soft.
I wanted to show how it looks inside. It's very soft and nice.
It's not very flaky, it's more cakey.
Yeah,
but
I think that's the egg, but
it's good.
Nice, yeah.
I don't approve. I like it.
Awesome. Welcome to the cookbook chat section of this vintage recipe. Today we are talking about 1904 picnic recipes from the Presidential Cookbook from 1904. And here we are in the bread section. This talks about the egg biscuits that we made. And I ended up making them with lard. And you can also use butter, but I love that it says a quick oven here. The other one was a brisk oven, and I really wonder what the difference is. I ended up leaving at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which worked great. So it's always so fun to try to discover these little details here. But also I love they say things like piece of butter the size of an egg, and they also use things like a quart of dry flour instead of by cups, things like that. Sometimes they use weight, like a pound of flour. So these things are so much fun to discover. So please join me in subscribing to this channel if you have not. And thank you so much for being here. Please leave a like on the video, comment down below, say hi if you are new. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all.